السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري وأشرك في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين. Now, inshallah, we will continue studying the 23rd word, second chapter, and we would like to hear Anne's presentation, reminding us what we have been doing and where we left off and what we are going to do. Inshallah.
So last week, we talked about these four interacting aspects of which are the human body and the human spirit, two aspects, and then the universe material side and the universe angelic side as the other aspect. I'm not going to review it again in the interest of time, but just to remind everyone listening that you can look at, listen to last week's discussion and look at the, you can't look at the screen share. There was a wonderful diagram that Berha did, and I attempted to show the different aspects of the relationship. But at any rate, I'm going to ask you to listen to last week's for that discussion. Well, what we started with last week, after discussing those human body, human spirit, universe material side and universe angelic side, after we discussed how those interact, we looked at this Surah 25, ayat 70, in which it says, if the soul gives up egoism and seeks good in existence from divine assistance and forgoes evil and destruction, God will change their evil into good. So what does that mean exactly? We talked about how we are weak, fragile beings prone to mistakes. When we realize this, we ask for forgiveness. Which brings us to the other surah and ayat we discussed, which is ayat 2, verse 286. I don't know if that, yes. In which, again, we beseech our Lord to not punish us if we forget as a result of negligence or make a mistake. In other words, throughout the Quran, we see that when we ask for forgiveness, God will change our evil into good. God Allah loves our asking for forgiveness, because inevitably we will do something wrong, not intentionally, but because of who we are. We are weak, fragile beings. So invariably we're going to do something wrong, and we need to ask for forgiveness. And then we talked about one good deed versus one bad deed. How in the text, Nursey talks about how although one evil is as, let me see if it's, let me see if you can find it. Although it would be justice to record one evil, yes, there it is, as 1,000, and a single good deed as one or not at all. He records a single evil as one and a single good deed as 10, and sometimes 70 or 700 or even 7,000. So we talked about why that's the case. Why wouldn't the one evil deed actually be weighted as 1,000 evil deeds? And so it's how the Quran talks about justice. If you, for example, Brother Ali gave us this example, if someone gave you $100 and we didn't spend that $100 on something that was good for other humans, or if we didn't do what we were expected to do, we deserve punishment. And that is what is said in Surah 10, Ayah 27. Each evil deed will be recompensed by its equal, one for one. But when you do good, you are doing what your spirit is created for. Your reward will be gardens of eternity for not contradicting your reality. So it's God rewarding us for tenfold, 100-fold, 1,000-fold for doing what we were essentially created to do, what our spirit was created to do, which is to do good. And that brings us to the start of the second remark.
No? Thank you. Would you like to say something more? It's a very, very brief and precise summary of what we have done last week.
I feel it's too brief. This text is so dense and so important. It has so many layers. It's hard to do a really concise discussion summary. I feel like I did a really poor job. Really poor job today. I'm sorry.
No. Thank you. It's wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. So it's a beautiful summary of the last week. So let's see what we are going to study today, inshallah. And would you like to read starting from the second remark? So that
yes.
Paragraph by paragraph.
Second remark.
Yeah.
Man has two faces. One, concerning his ego, looks to the worldly life. The other, concerning acknowledgement and worship of God, looks to eternal life. In respect to the first face, he is a wretched creature whose capital consists only of the following. Of free will, he has only a partial power of choice like a hair. of power, a weak ability to acquire, of life, a fast dying flame, of a lifespan, a fleeting brief spell, and of being, a swiftly decaying small body. Together with this, he is one delicate, weak individual out of the innumerable individuals of the numberous varieties of beings dispersed through the levels of the universe.
Now, thank you. What did we understand from this paragraph or in general?
Um, it's kind of building on what I said in the summary earlier about how we are weak, fragile beings, prone to mistakes. So why should we? Let's not pretend otherwise, right? We need to realize that that's exactly who we are. And I love the way if we are only looking at our ego side or our material side or our body side, we're just a swiftly decaying small body. This is a very, very descriptive uh, um, part of the text about our ego. Very, very descriptive. I love it.
Now, this is the first aspect of the first phase of our life, whether we use all our human qualities concerning our bodily relationship with the bodily side of the universe. And in fact, what we can do is nothing but use our free will to acquire. Acquire means not to create, but ask to be created. Because this power of choice, this free will, human free will, only it cannot create anything. It cannot guarantee anything. Just try to get it for himself, for itself, if free will is used in order to satisfy my egoistic satisfactions or egoistic desires. Why we aren't going to use free will while we are using our spiritual side? Yes, we do. But if we use the free will as the one who acquires everything for himself, but only as far as our bodily, egotistically used free will. So our bodily desires. So the text says it is our bodily life swiftly decaying small body, then compared to universe and other beings in the universe. Our life is very limited, time-wise is very limited, capacity-wise is very limited, but our worldly life, we have a certain years of life in this world. So being born and as a baby and getting old and dying around 60, 70, 80 years, and that's it. Compare the huge universe and the things created in it, our bodily value is almost nothing. a decaying small body, as it is described here. Of course, egotistic side of the human beings do not take notice of what human reality, we call it human feelings, human spiritual side. It is not concerned. It is only concerned with bodily satisfaction, which is called in this text is the worldly life. Worldly life means from birth to death. How am I going to entertain my bodily desires, my bodily needs? That's it. Ignoring my spiritual side, my human needs. This is called the first phase of human life. But we have another phase, the second phase, which represents human reality. Inshallah, if you don't have any further comment on it, we can read the following paragraph and see what and compare it. What is the first phase, looking to the world life, and the other phase, the second phase, looking to the realization of our human feelings, human side, and the realization of our reality, which is, we will read, inshallah, impotence and poverty, all neediness. We cannot guarantee anything. I think that comparison makes it clear which direction we are expected to take in this world.
Okay, so I'm going to read the contrast.
Yeah, the other side.
Yeah, the other side.
Reality, yes.
In respect of the second phase, and especially his impotence and poverty, which are turned towards worship, man has truly great breadth and vast importance. For the all-wise Creator has included in man's nature an infinitely vast impotence and boundless huge poverty, so that he can be an extensive mirror containing the innumerable manifestations of an all-powerful and compassionate one, whose power is infinite, an all-generous, all-rich one, whose wealth is boundless.
Yeah.
I have a question about the part where the all-wise Creator has included in man's nature an infinitely vast impotence and boundless huge poverty, so that he can be a mirror. Without the impotence and without the vast impotence and without the vast poverty in man's nature, then man wouldn't have or couldn't be an extensive mirror. Would that be another way to say it?
That's what I understood as well. Now, this is very important to notice our reality, that we are infinitely impotent. The text says, whoever created me, he created me with huge, boundless poverty and infinite impotence. So we wonder why he created us with this need. So we are asking, or we are created with the ability to be in need of infinite satisfactions in every aspect of our life. But at the same time, we are created with infinite impotence. Why is it so? Let's reflect on it and talk about it. If I was very powerful, whatever I need, if I was the one who could get it by myself, and I would never realize that I am a created being. I have an owner, and somebody arranged this universe for me as my comfortable home. I am entertained here. So if I was powerful, I would be just uh, satisfying myself within my own power and not taking notice of who created me, who created the universe, who provided all these uh, unimaginably beautiful universe for me. Everything is arranged for me beautifully. I wouldn't fulfill the purpose of my existence. We have to understand from our reality that we are created with no power at all to realize, to guarantee for my future, even for my life right now, but only being in a position of neediness. I need this and I cannot create it. That is how I am created. On the other hand, I am created with infinite need, and also this infinite need demonstrates that uh, I need to be created. I need to be given life. I need to be given all these feelings that what they need is infinite satisfaction to the number of the feelings that I don't know how many different kinds of feelings I have. All of them need to be satisfied. That is how I am created. That's my reality. Now I have to face with my reality and utilize it, benefit from it. What am I supposed to do here? I will understand that my needs are the mirrors. Why? Because I cannot satisfy it. I cannot satisfy my needs. Through the needs, I am trying to ask the one who creates the things which satisfy my needs. So I have to function as a mirror according to the capacity of my needs, and at the same time, according to the capacity of my neediness, which is infinite neediness, contrasted with infinite satisfaction, need of satisfaction. Infinite neediness, I cannot create anything, guarantee anything. Contrasted with infinite need for satisfaction. I have to think, who made me in this position? Definitely, I cannot say that this perfect arrangement in contradicting each other, in a position to contradict each other, cannot be coincidental at all. Perfectly complementary to each other, but in contrast, complementary to each other. Something, I don't know how I can give a simple example. One came to my mind right now that what we should not misunderstand this. The baby is born, or baby is in the womb of the mother, and then the baby will be born. Now, the cell in the body in the womb of mother cannot do anything at all by itself, but it needs to grow into a baby to be a human being. That is the need. The way it is created, we understand this. But it cannot do anything at all. It needs somebody else, something else to provide its needs. And when the baby is born, still, it cannot do anything at all. It cannot protect itself. It cannot satisfy its needs. It cannot take care of whatever the baby needs in this world. But the contrast is the mother is given if the mother has free will. But in most of the cases that the mothers use their free will on the right way. They are provided with the ability to take care of the babies. They cannot leave them alone at all. Even for an hour, they cannot leave them without any protection provided by themselves. So they are very, very, not only human mothers, all the other animal mothers also, they take care of their children, so their babies. So the contrast, baby is infinitely needy of to be taken care of. Mother has been given infinitely need to take care of the need of the baby. Who's arranging this? Accident? Two different creatures. So we have to understand that it is perfectly and consciously arranged this. The author says, this is the opportunity provided for us to see, to realize through our infinite impotence, to realize who is the one who is satisfying my infinite needs. I cannot do it, somebody else must do it because I am in need of it. Now, through this contradiction, man understands, the human beings understand that this neediness and being impotent in satisfying the neediness, to satisfy the neediness is to be functioned in order to understand the one who is satisfying and taking care of our needs. So our feelings, which need infinite satisfaction, will function as a mirror. So to the number of the feelings that we have to this number of feelings, we have this number of mirrors to understand and realize and reflect the one who is satisfying our needs. So this contradictory creation is so wonderfully arranged that teaches us, this arrangement teaches us what the purpose of our existence is all about. Why we are here? That is why we have to think about our reality in order to take the right position, rather than the author will explain it in the example of the seed, rather than thinking that our need only consists of only bodily needs until we die, ignoring our huge human capacities which need to be satisfied, just ignoring them, or facing our reality and looking for the solution, what I should do as far as my capacity is concerned, as far as my reality is concerned. Now, which way I should take and try to satisfy myself. I think if anybody, and your mic is unmuted, would you like to say anything?
Oh no, I forgot to mute it. I'm sorry.
Anyone else? Otherwise, we can continue, which gives an comfortable, easily understandable example of the seed. It is beautiful, the example. Shall we move on?
Yes,
All right.
indeed. Man resembles a seed. This seed has been given significant immaterial members by divine power and a subtle, valuable program by divine determining, so that it may work beneath the ground and emerging from that narrow world, enter the broad world of the air. And asking its creator with the tongue of its disposition to be a tree, find a perfection worthy of it. If, due to bad temperament, the seed uses the immaterial members given it in attracting certain harmful substances under the ground, in a short time it will rot and decay in that narrow place without benefit. But if the seed conforms to the creational command of and employs well those immaterial. Oh, sorry, I got a little confused. Can
This
you
is
scroll back up?
so this creational command of God is
Yeah,
this.
okay, I understand now. I see. But if the seed conforms to the creational command of God, is the splitter of the seed grain in date stone, Quran 6, ayat 95, and employs well those immaterial members, it will emerge from that narrow world and through becoming a large fruit-bearing tree, its tiny particular reality in its spirit will take on the form of an extensive universal reality.
No, this language,
Yeah.
the way the author describes the thing is so figurative. We have to understand it. It is not difficult. We can guess, actually. It is making human reality, sort of likening human reality to a seed. So at first, what our friends here understood from this first reading of the paragraph. Anyone would like to share his ideas, his understandings?
If due to bad temperament, the seed uses the immaterial members given it in attracting certain harmful substances under the ground, is that in a short time it will rot and decay? Is that the same thing as the seed not using its potential and wasting, or I mean, if the seed is a metaphor for a human and wastes its potential on satisfying only bodily needs, then in a short time it will rot and decay. I saw that analogy in this part of the text pretty clearly that the seed doesn't use its potential by attracting certain harmful substances. It would be like humans not using their potential and only satisfying their bodily needs. In time, it will rot and decay.
That's we are, as you said, we are like the seed, but we have free will. In the example analogy, of course the seeds don't have the free wills, but it's just an analogy. So if the seed doesn't really choose a way which rots it rather than grow into a tree. It's of course likened to human beings. If we use our bodily existence like a seed in the analogy, only to satisfy my body, not what is written in my being, human being, like the seed has the written document in it that it is going to grow into a tree. Now, human beings also the same way. If I just try to satisfy my bodily needs until I die, then what is written in my spirit, in my feeling side, is not satisfied. I'm not, if I don't take notice of my human side, I will end up with only taking care of my bodily needs, and that's it. That's it, forgetting, ignoring what is written in my human reality. This example shows that if seed does not choose the way to rot itself without growing into a tree, rather grows into a tree, what happens? Out of this seed, like human life, in this temporary human life, we grow into a tree. What does it mean? Oh, we know that our feelings require infinite satisfactions, and this infinite satisfaction can only be realized by the one who is manifesting himself in the universe, who is introducing himself by creating the universe and letting me know who he is. So I can realize that, the one who created me is the one who created the whole universe. The one who gave me life is the one who has been given life, all living beings. The one who satisfies my nourishment is the one who satisfies everything in the universe, not only living beings, but also non-living beings, immaterial beings, their sustenance. They say their energy. Now, that is something ridiculous. Their energy is produced by matter, but matter itself cannot turn, energy cannot turn into a matter. Matter itself cannot turn into an energy. They are different creatures. They are different levels of creatures. But that is their argument. So what they need to fulfill their needs are all provided by the Creator. So we understand that my provisions have been provided by the one who provides the provisions of all the universe, which I cannot get to the end. So that is how we grow in recognition, in accepting that my Creator is the creator of the whole universe with all its qualities, only possible if I take notice of my spiritual side, satisfaction of my spiritual side, and look for the option, how can I satisfy and respect my spiritual side and spiritual needs. That is the example given. So I understood that only those people who take notice of their spiritual needs can be the ones who acknowledge the creator of the universe as being the source of all qualities manifested in this universe, and the specimen of these qualities are included in the potential of the seed. It means, analogy, all the specimen of these qualities are included in my potential of spiritual side, human spiritual side. I need these feelings. I understand. I realize that I need to be, for example, satisfied in everything that I need. Everything. I'm created with this. I don't know how many different kinds of needs we have. Infinite number of needs we have. So, an infinite capacity. It means not temporary satisfaction, not limited satisfaction, but full satisfaction we need. That's what we are looking for. We are in need of. And I cannot do it. I cannot realize it. That is how we should use our spiritual side and really follow the reality, my reality, and end up with understanding that I am here to function as a mirror to understand who my creator is, and I have to acknowledge him as my owner, and I have to submit my existence to it, and I have to only be thankful. I have to worship only to him and thankful to him. That is why I am created here, to acknowledge my creator so that my spiritual need will be fully satisfied and I will be qualified to get the satisfaction. If I don't use my spiritual side, I will not be qualified to get the satisfaction. So I have written something here, but if the seed conforms to the creational command of God is the splitter of the seed grain and date stone, Allahu khaliq, Allahu falikul habbi wan nawa. That is the verse. You can check. I have written something here. I would just read it. If the spiritual needs, here I am reading from, if the spiritual needs are used in the right way, as they are created to search for the one who gave them to human beings. Who gave it to me? We have to ask this question. It is very human to ask. I have intelligence. Who gave me this intelligence? Intelligence has not to do with my body. I have consciousness. Who gave it? I have sense of lots of senses, feel, infinite senses. And where did I get them? How come I have all of them? So we have to search for it and question. It means we have to accept our reality. Very simple. As I am created. And I wrote this. If we use them in the right way, as they are really asking me to question and conform to the one who can satisfy them. Who can satisfy them? Just us. And of course, my body, my own human ego cannot really satisfy anything, cannot create anything. So who gave it to me and who can satisfy them? Then he will grow into a tree. If we just take this direction, we will grow into a tree. Not a tree, but universe-wise tree, which realizes who the owner of the universe, rather than who my owner is. Who is the owner of the universe? We can expand our capacity if we really take notice of our reality. So we will not rot in this world. If we take this world, it means I shouldn't really reduce myself to only my bodily existence, thinking that I am just a bodily being, like the body does. It means body rots in this world. If I reduce my life to bodily life only, if I understand myself as bodily life only, and at the end it rots. Like the analogy of the seed. At the end, seed dies, doesn't grow into a tree. I think we are free to choose which way we can take. So it says, if the spirit is really utilized in the right way, its spirit, human spirit, will take a form of an extensive universal reality. It means, I think the relationship between my existence connected to the Lord of the owner of the creator of the universe. So a tiny seed is a person like me and you becomes consciousness-wise, awareness-wise, I am the one who is given this existence by the owner of the universe. So I am here to acknowledge who the owner of the universe is. So connect all my feelings to him and consciously submit my reality to him, inshallah. Any comment? Yep. No comment. So we can continue. We have some time reading if you want.
Similarly, significant members and valuable programs have been deposited in man's nature by divine power and determining. If man uses those immaterial members on the desires of his ego and on minor pleasures under the soil of worldly life and the narrow confines of this earthly world, he will decay and decompose in the midst of difficulties in a brief life, in a constricted place like the rotted seed, and load the responsibility on his unfortunate spirit, and then depart from this world.
No. If you don't take, yeah. Any comment? Any
I have
comment?
a question about what it means to say load the responsibility on his unfortunate spirit.
What was it?
At the towards the end, that last sentence.
Yeah, this one.
Mm-hmm. Load the responsibility on his unfortunate spirit. What does that mean?
Yes, you guess. Or what do you think? Load the responsibility on his unfortunate spirit.
I I'm not sure what he means by responsibility.
To satisfy them.
Oh, but he's not allowing the recognition of his spirit to satisfy his needs. So how can you load the responsibility on his unfortunate spirit?
You are absolutely right to ask this very reasonable question. Now, those people, if they follow their ego, define themselves as bodily existent animal being. I am a living being. That's it, bodily, not taking the human side. Although they don't take the human side, the human feelings into account and face their reality, what they do, they ignore this side. I understand your question. They ignore human side and reduce themselves to bodily life. But for example, a student pretends to have not a test or not a class to attend and entertain himself in the, let's say, dining room, eating, talking, just passing time with their friends. Although what they are doing there, there is a class going on and he is expected to attend the class. Ignores it. But ignoring doesn't mean that he knows that he has to attend the class. But I am ignoring it. Like, let's say, a mother asks the child, grown-up child, or young boy or girl, come on, uh, take this laundry to the laundry room and do the laundry. The child may ignore the mother, but do you think it really, really, totally uh, uh, doesn't know it? Now it is there. What do they do now? They replace it. They know that, for example, I want to be, let's say, appreciated by the people. That is my feeling. I reduce it to my just temporary satisfaction, but it means until I die, ignore my spiritual need and questioning the reason why I have this need, that I need to be appreciated. That is what we understand in the language of the Quran. Human beings are created to go to paradise. But that is their capacity. But some people try to satisfy this capacity, this need for eternal satisfaction in paradise, in this world, build their own paradise here in this world. That is why unfortunate spirit cannot guarantee it. Now, the responsibility now transferred or loaded on this spirit, but this is going to be satisfied by human egotistic attitude. It means I am going to guarantee the paradisical life in this world. Can they do it? That is why unfortunate spirit cannot get the satisfaction. Somehow not very clear.
It's better. Thank you.
No, it's just better. Go to
Oh,
responsibility.
well, I have to think some more about it.
Now, although we may ignore our spiritual needs, but we are turning, or simply a simple way of understanding it in my capacity, within my capacity. Although we may not really look the purpose of the existence of these infinite spiritual needs and who can satisfy it, if I take egotistic attitude, it means this one, desires of ego, self-glory. I can do it. I can do it. Not the one who created these needs can satisfy it, but I will satisfy it by myself because these needs are there. I may not acknowledge their creator and who can satisfy it, but this is still these needs are spiritual satisfaction. Needs of spiritual satisfaction are with us, and try to satisfy it within this temporary world, and it cannot satisfy it. Without satisfaction, they die. That's why those dictators or some uh, political leaders want their status built, because this is the hope. They will be remembered forever. They will be appreciated forever in this world. These needs are there. But they are trying to satisfy it within this limited life in the world. That's what I could explain on how I could explain this much.
I think that's helpful. Definitely. I don't think I could explain it, but I think I'm a little clearer.
Yeah. If you let's think all together, and if somebody says I can explain it in a better way. Now, if we read this following paragraph as well, although time is almost up until here, because there will be in a slightly different aspect of the same subject discussed in the following paragraphs. What do you think?
No, I can, let's see. Let's read it because the next paragraph is a parable, is a story. So we can read true wait. I don't know. There's two more paragraphs before we enter, or before Nursey talks about entering the large town.
Now, I think this paragraph, progress paragraph, is related to this.
Okay.
Yeah, to
Okay,
this.
so then I can read just this one, the one right above it, and then we will stop.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, this one.
Yes. If, however, he nurtures the seed of his abilities with the water of Islam and light of belief under the soil of acknowledgement and worship of God, conforms to the commands of the Quran, and turns his faculties towards their true aim, they will produce branches and buds in the world of similitudes in the intermediate realm. He will be a seed of great value and a shining machine containing the members of an everlasting tree and permanent truth, which will be the means to innumerable perfections and bounties in paradise. And he will be a blessed and luminous fruit of the tree of the universe.
Now, we will, but what I understood, this is the conclusion. Now, light of belief, what does it mean, light of belief? Acknowledgement of the source of my existence. Looking at my capacity and see who can be the one who really created me with these capacities. We discussed at the beginning the contradictory nature. Fully needed, but at the same needy, but at the same time fully impotent. So if we utilize this and understand uh, that this is arranged for a purpose and go along with the purpose, this is called the light of belief. Belief means, somebody created me and asking me to communicate with him because I cannot satisfy these needs given to me. Through giving these needs to me, he is calling me to himself. Come and communicate with me, acknowledge me, and I will satisfy it for you. So this is called the light of belief, to my understanding. And that is why the text says, light of belief under the soil of acknowledgement and worship of God. It means acknowledging. And okay, only you can do it, I accept it. And conforms the command of the Quran. It means the Quran brings this news to us, and so we have to really go along with the way that the Quran is teaching us. So this should not be really bothered about in the word of similitude and the intermediate realm. I understood it in this way. Next creation, after I die, the next creation, permanent existence in paradise. That is why I have to prepare myself for this end. So it is also uh, explained here that we are created not for this world. This world is just the preparation place, getting ready, taking the right attitude and acknowledging who my creator is and using my feelings accordingly, directing my feelings to him. Only you, the creator of this feeling, is promising me by creating this feeling that you can satisfy it, and you are asking me to acknowledge you, which I say, yes, I agree with it, and I don't deny it, and turn to worshipful attitude towards my creator. So if I do this, after I am taken away from this temporary existence and put into a permanent existence or recreated in the permanent existence, God will say, okay, you acknowledge me as the one who is going to satisfy this. I keep my promise and I will satisfy you in the next creation. That is called paradise. That is why we have to conclude that we are created for an eternal satisfaction in our next creation. Now, the author is going to study what is in a social level. This is so far he was studying or trying to explain how within individual life, which kind of reality we have, which kind of attitude we are expected to take. Now, how about in our social life? And it will be now described or studied what really human progress is all about inshallah, for the next week. I think we should stop here. Time is up, and the new subject for the next week, inshallah. Any more comment or anything anyone would like to say? Otherwise, we will stop here. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعوانا إن الحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة سر